Welcome, bienvenidos. So today we are back with a Sephora video actually. So the Sephora spring sale is coming up and I thought why not film kind of like my favorites from Sephora, a big old Sephora roundup. I'll have the dates and the percentages for the sale down below. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Sephora I think it's every season, right? Not every season, but I think they have this sale twice. They have one around this time of the year, around springtime, and they have one around the holiday season. So if you're part of the Sephora Beauty Insider program, when these sales come up, you will get an email or a voucher in the mail and you get like 10, 15, or 20% off, I believe it is. Again, everything will be in the description box. But I wanted to do a Sephora recommendations video and sharing with you some of my favorites in case you do want to do some online shopping for the Sephora sale. They hardly have sales, so I think this is a perfect time. Like if you are running low on some of your things, this is the perfect time to stock up or pick up some new items that you've been kind of eyeing. So I have everything here. I have hair care, skin care, makeup, all of it. So I'm going to share with you my current favorites. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'll start off with hair care. Now, I'm not the type of person that has like a super lengthy, long hair care routine. I wash my hair maybe like once a week, and in between that, I don't really add too much product to it unless I'm styling it, I guess you can say. But my main stuff that I use, they're leave-in conditioners or oils for the most part. And my favorite leave-in conditioner right now for my hair, I have been using this ever since they sent it to me the first time and I am obsessed. It's this Way Haircare leave-in conditioner. I'm already halfway through this bottle and I have a backup. That's how serious it is. I don't know what it is about this. It's not heavy on my hair. It makes my hair feel really moisturized, but again, it doesn't get that oily, greasy feeling. I apply this to my hair straight out of the shower. I put it everywhere, brush it through my hair, and then I'll go in and blow dry and straighten it. Even if you're not gonna blow dry and straighten it and you just want kind of a detangler or some extra condition to your hair, I highly recommend this. It smells just like all their other Way hair care products, but it's just a very rich and milky leave-in conditioner that I have been just obsessed with. And then another thing that I like from their line is the hair oil. I want to say this is my 4th bottle of this product. I just started using this specific bottle right here, but I love this oil as well. Again, it's very lightweight. A little bit goes a long way, and I really only apply this to my ends. I'm gonna put some right now. I get about like a dime size amount. You probably couldn't even see that, but I just rub it through my hands and rub it through my hair, and it makes my hair look super healthy, nourished, shiny. I do not apply this to my roots though. I really only do it to like my ends, and you can see how shiny my hair looks, but it doesn't feel greasy at all. This also helps to tame frizziness, and it helps to tame my flyaways. I have a lot of flyaways right here and sometimes up here, so very rarely, but sometimes I will kind of go like this just a little bit with whatever's left over just to tame the flyaways. But this is the main thing that I use. Like when you guys ask me how I get my hair to look like shiny and healthy, if I'm using anything in my hair, it is this right here. Besides that, I don't use anything else to make it look like shiny at all. It's mainly just this. When it comes to skincare, I've pretty much been sticking to my same stuff because every time I try something new, my skin just does not like it. So some of my like favorites from Sephora in regards to skincare right now is this Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. This is a 24-hour lightweight hydrating formula is what it says on here. I'm already about halfway through this one, so I am going to get myself a new one for the sale. But I like how lightweight this moisturizer is, but it's very hydrating on my skin as well. I don't feel like my skin is crackly and dry at all. I do have oily skin right now. I want to say it's more like oily, more like combination, since it is like winter springtime. Right now it's not super hot or anything like that. It's still more on the breezy cool side most days. So I do like to use a lot more hydrating stuff around this time of the year. So this has been working really well. Now I do only use this during the daytime though. At night I will either use my CeraVe or I will use this one right here. This is the Fresh Lotus Youth Preserve Dream Face Cream. This is an anti-aging moisturizer, but I don't know, I don't know what's in this moisturizer right here, but when I wake up, my skin looks super supple and, again, hydrated and youthful. I like the nighttime one better than the daytime one. I have both, but for daytime, I prefer to use this one, and then at night, when I want to, like, really plump up my skin and make it look nice and youthful, then I will use this. It's a little bit thicker and heavier than something like this one, but for nighttime when you're like sleeping and your skin's doing all the things, you do want to use, or you can use, something that's a little bit thicker and heavier. This next item, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna feature it because I'm still, I guess, trying to test it and make sure, okay, it's like a holy grail of mine, but I've been using it a lot, so I'm just gonna include it anyway. So it's this Ole Henriksen Dark Spot Toner. A lot of people were recommending this when I made a Sephora post, and I was like, what are some of your favorite Sephora items? And a lot of people have always recommended this specific toner and the toners from Ole Henriksen in general. So I picked this one up and I was like, let me see if it works for like hyperpigmentation or any of the scarring that I have. And I do find that it makes a difference in my skincare routine. I mainly use this at night, but it does have it says high potency AHA, so it's supposed to help with, obviously with toning, but mainly with scarring or any dark spots that you have on your face. I'm on like a quarter through the bottle, so I'm still really trying it out and seeing if it works for my skin. But I find that when I use this in combination with this, I wake up with really, really good skin. And I guess because I have been using this, it's been kind of helping with my scarring, because you guys have been asking, like, you know, your skin's getting clearer or your scars are slowly fading, so what are you using? I guess this is helping and working for my skin. Maybe I just didn't even realize it. So there's that. All right, let's do, well, some of this is still skincare, but we're gonna do primers, setting sprays, etc. So a few setting sprays. Well, let me do the primer first. I don't use a lot of primers. Lately, I've been really into just going in with straight my foundation, but one primer that I do recommend, and it's been a holy grail of mine for a long time, it's the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. This is an oil-free primer. It feels a little slippery on the skin when you first put it on, but the weird thing about this is it's not necessarily like pore minimizing or mattifying, but it adds this really thin, nice layer to your skin that makes your foundation last all day. This is one of the only primers that I've been using as of lately and for a while that I see actually makes a huge difference with my foundation. I've used like pore minimizing, I've used mattifying primers. I don't like mattifying primers on my skin, even though I do have oily skin. They just make my foundation look dry and cakey. So I prefer something like this that isn't necessarily mattifying or smoothing, or I will use solely just a smoothing primer. But this right here, if there's any primer that you want to try and your skin is similar to mine, I would give this one a try, and it works with every single foundation that I've wore up to this day. And then the rest are setting sprays. So this one it's one that's like more refreshing than anything. Doesn't necessarily do a whole lot for my skin, but it's this Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. It has a really nice smell to it. It makes you feel nice and refreshed. It doesn't add a whole lot of glow, which I like because, again, my skin is oily, but I mainly like the smell and the way it leaves my skin looking and feeling. This is more along the lines of skincare. This is the Caudalie Beauty Elixir. It says it adds like smoothness to your skin. It adds like that smoothing factor, and it obviously adds a little bit of glow to your complexion. You can use this before putting on any makeup, or you can even use it after to kind of refresh or even on days where you're not wearing makeup and you just want a little pick-me-up, you want your skin to look like glowy and fresh. You can tell I'm already running super low. I have like maybe 1 or 2 sprays left in here, so I am gonna get another one of these for the sale. If it is pricey, I'm not gonna lie, especially for a spray. So if you're looking at the price and you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to pay that much for a beauty elixir, they do have a smaller version of it in case you want to try it first. And then the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This is kind of a staple and a must-have in so many people's routine. It is a setting spray. Specifically, these right here are not necessarily setting. Is the watermelon one? No, it's for hydrating and glowy radiance. So this is more so to make your makeup last all day, all night, just like the name says. So those right there you can put on for like a glow, to make your skin look good, etc. But this is actually gonna lock in your makeup. Let's talk about foundation. These I couldn't narrow down too much, just because a lot of my favorite foundations come from Sephora, like a lot. So I'll start with the one that I'm wearing today. I'm wearing the Pat McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation in the shade Light Medium 14. This one, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's not a super full coverage foundation. It's also not a super mattifying foundation, which I typically go for foundations along those lines. This is more of a light to medium coverage, and it is more on the natural to glowy side. There's so much construction going on right now. I apologize if you can hear banging in the background, but I'm trying to get through it, okay? So yeah, this is a really good foundation. I usually go in with 2 layers of this for, you know, my hyperpigmentation and stuff like that. Even though it's not mattifying, the finish of this foundation is beautiful. As long as you go in with a powder, if you do have oily skin, if you go in with a powder and set, this foundation, the longer you wear it, the better it looks. And even when you first put it on your skin, it looks absolutely incredible. It's one of my, I never thought I would like a light to medium foundation, but it's one of the only foundations that I have that is light to medium coverage that I am obsessed with. The other ones that I have are pretty full coverage, so I'll do the Hourglass one. This is a really good on the go everyday foundation, and it's also really good for a full glam look. I've already gone through probably like 3 tubes of this one as well, 3 or 4. Right now I'm using the shade Beige, and I like to use this foundation when I want like a natural look, or like I said, when I want a full glam. This foundation, I can even wear it, like I can swipe it just on the areas where I have hyperpigmentation, blend it with a brush, and just wear that. And after like an hour or 2, it literally blends in with my skin, and it looks like my skin is just flawless and perfect, even though I have foundation on. A good one that has about a medium coverage that is matte as well, and you can kind of build up, is the Fenty one. Right now I use shade 280, and it works pretty good for me. I like the formula of this one as of right now. I do have the hydrating one, but for some reason I always end up just reaching for the matte one a lot more. I have a few bottles of this one as well. This one's already kind of gross and grimy, but it's a really good foundation if you're looking for something that is going to be a lot more matte, and it also leaves your face looking super flawless. If you want, you don't even have to set that one. Similar to this one is like, it's like matte and pigmented, which is good, but it's also a little difficult when it comes to finding your shade. Not that they don't have a good shade range, but because of the intense pigmentation, like if it says it's like a warm undertone, it is going to be warm on your skin tone. So for right now, I have the shade 3.15, which is supposed to be for medium neutral skin tones, but it still comes up a little like warmish for me, so I have to find a new shade. But this is this one, along with my Huda Beauty, is probably, these are the most full coverage foundations that I own. The Huda Beauty one is good, but you do, my foot's falling asleep, you do have to set this 100%, because after an hour or 2 it starts to kind of get oily around this area for me. But if you're looking for like full coverage, long lasting, 24-hour wear foundations, and these 2 right here are good. I have the shade Baklava, in the Huda Beauty. And I have one more foundation. Okay, one more foundation. I know it's a lot. But the Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is a lot of people's holy grail foundation. It's kind of like an OG holy grail. But I thought I would mention it because it's one of those foundations, well, for me at least, that I mainly gravitate towards for special occasions. Sometimes I do wear it for like everyday looks, and then next thing you know, I'm like running low on it and I had no idea. So just in case you have this foundation, you're just kind of like, oh, like I need to get a new one, or I've loved this foundation, I've just never got around to repurchasing it. This is also another really good full coverage foundation that you could use for, like, you know, full coverage on a regular day, but it's really good, really good for special occasions as well. Concealer, I only have one from Sephora that I've been like really loving, and it's this one from Too Faced. It's the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. This concealer is like a nice, I would say it's about a full coverage. The way that I like to apply this, and I am wearing it on my face today, I'll put some on my under eyes and I'll let it dry for about a minute, and then I will go in and blend it. That is how I get the maximum coverage. I have the shade Warm Beige. I like the finish too. It's not super drying, and you have enough time to go in and blend it and work with it. I do have some favorite powders from Sephora. Two translucent powders that I love. One is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Again, this is like a staple and a must-have in like every single person's makeup collection. It's such a universal translucent powder. It's not super light, it's not glowy on the skin. It just leaves your skin looking super flawless, and it has zero flashback. I've never experienced flashback with this one. And then another good one that I've been really into lately is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder. Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder in Pound Cake. I do find that this one's a lot more matte than the Laura Mercier one, but they last about the same. If you just want a little bit more of that like super just flawless matte under eye and T-zone area, then I would go in with this one. They're both really good. It just depends on like what mood you're in, I guess you can say. And then my trusty Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. I usually don't use a lot of pressed powders for my skin. I just use translucent powder and then I just sweep it off, go in with my bronzer. But this powder is honestly one of the best pressed powders that I have tried. It leaves your skin looking like, it doesn't add too much coverage, which is fine. It adds a little bit, but it makes your skin look super just airbrushed, but not too much. The finish of this is almost like a satin, yeah, like a satiny finish. So what I like to do with this one is, if I use something like my Pat McGrath foundation, like I said, it has like a light medium coverage, and if on my cheeks I need a little bit more coverage for the hyperpigmentation, I'll go in with this one and just kind of dab it on my cheeks right before putting on bronzer, and it looks so bomb on the skin. For a while, a lot of people thought that this powder was discontinued. It wasn't. I don't know if it was, or if they were just reformulating it, or the packaging, I don't know what happened, but there was a time where they didn't have this on the shelves anymore, and they were out of stock for like a long time, but now they have them back like normal. And if you get a deeper shade in it, it's so good as a bronzer as well, just saying. Speaking of bronzers, I have two that I love from Sephora. One is the Fenty Beauty. A lot of people love this one as well. It's the Sunstalker bronzer. The shade that I use is Badging Gal. I think that's how you say it. And it's, first of all, it's like run down already, but it's this kind of warm tone right here. I can get away with this one or the shade underneath this one, but I love like an orangey bronzy tone for my complexion. I just love, I don't know, I love that look. So this is a very smooth and buttery bronzer, which is usually what I go for as well. And another one that I love, this is the one I'm using on my skin right now. It's the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze. You guys hear the dog? That's my life right now. Okay, the Pro Bronze Fusion in 30, I can't even read the number, but I'll have in the description box. This one right here is also a lot more on the buttery side. This reminds me of more of a cream to powder finish though, which I don't mind. I actually really like that. They do have some that are illuminating, which means they have a little shimmer in there, and they have matte ones as well. But I've used both and I like both, honestly. The thing with this one though is you have to use it with a brush like those white bristle rougher brushes, because that's what picks up the product. If you use a really soft brush, you're going to be in there for a while before the product actually gets onto the brush. So just a heads up. Blushes, I have a hard time finding at Sephora. I don't know why. I'm very picky when it comes to blush shades. I don't like anything too pinky or anything. So one that I do like, this is a trio from Anastasia Beverly Hills in Peachy Love. And my favorite shades in this are Ginger and Miami. This is Ginger and this is Miami. I'm wearing Miami on my cheeks right now, and I really like it. It's like a neutral peach tone as well. It's not too pink, which I like. It's like a tangerine color, which is really nice for more of a muted neutral look like what I'm wearing today. You can mix all the colors together excuse me, or you can wear just one at a time, and it has like a very subtle, super subtle sheen shimmer to it. If you look up close, you can kind of see a little bit of shimmer in there, but not too much. They're more on the matte side, but I really like these two shades. Sometimes I'll mix them, sometimes I'll just use one or the other, but this trio is really pretty, especially for summer and spring. Highlighter, I'm not gonna lie, I really only reach for specific highlighters, and one of my favorites from Sephora is this one from Lancome, and you can probably tell because of how beat up it looks. I would never think to go to Lancome when I'm looking for a highlighter. I love the foundation, but Lancome is such a slept on brand, for real. Like, I've heard their lip pencils are good, some of their bronzers are really good, their foundation is bomb. Like, I used to use that foundation religiously every single day. Like, it was, you guys OG subscribers of mine know that was my go-to foundation for such a long time. I don't know why I haven't picked it up as of lately, but this highlighter is so pretty on the skin. It is one of the most skin-like highlighters that I've used. It's very frosty, but it melts into your skin. It's so pretty. It's like this rose gold tone, and it just comes up bomb on the skin. Let me swatch it on the back of my hand so you can see. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm wearing it on my Cupid's bow. Let me put a little more. Yeah, I'm wearing it on my Cupid's bow and then on the tip of my nose a little bit. I don't have a lot of lip products from there. A lot of my lip products are from like other places and stuff, but two glosses that I love from there. Okay, this one, I've loved it for, I think I've had it for like years, which isn't good. I should get a new one, but I went on there and it's sold out right now. So this is the Buxom lip gloss in the shade Serena. I never know how to say that, but it's this really pretty cinnamon. I always describe it as like a cinnamon toned lip gloss. These glosses are plumping, so it's gonna give you that minty tingly feel to the lips. If you don't like that, you probably won't like this, but the shade of this is so nice. It adds like a nude tone to your lips. It does have a metallic shiny look to it, but I think that looks really good with lip liners underneath. And the one I'm wearing on my lips right now, on top of another lip color, I'm wearing my Dose of Colors Knock on Wood liquid lipstick under, and this Pat McGrath lip gloss in Faux Real on top of it, which is this one. It's a little more on the peachy side, but depending on the tone of your lips or what lip color you have underneath, it can look different tones. So right now it looks more muted because Dose of Colors Knock on Wood is like a muted nude color. But these two right here, I can just picture them going with so many different lip liners and liquid lipsticks and lipsticks underneath. They're both really good. The Pat McGrath doesn't have a whole lot of like shimmer in it. It's more of like a subtle gloss. It's not sticky at all though, at all. The Buxom one isn't as sticky either. It's a little more than the Pat McGrath one, but this one's obviously a lot more shimmery, but that's the main difference between the two. My eyebrow products, I should have mentioned these before, but 3 that I really like. One that I'm gonna repurchase because I just completely ran out of it is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I have it in the shade medium brown. A lot of people love this. It's a very thin pencil that's good to give you hair-like strokes. I just love this, and I always, every time I run out, I just get a new one. Another one that's really good if you want to fill in your brows really fast and you want more of a powdery look to them, like that powder effect, is this Hourglass Brow Sculpting Pencil. I use it in dark brunette. It's a lot thicker than the Anastasia one. You can see the difference there, and it has more of an angled vibe to it, so it fills them in faster, but it gives you a really powdery look. And then another one that I love is the Benefit Precisely My Brow, which is similar to the Anastasia one in the sense that it's skinny as well, but I find that these are a lot more pigmented. Brow gel, gone through so many of these. This is a must-have in my opinion. This is one of the best brow gels that I have tried. It doesn't leave my brows super crusty feeling at all, and when I remove my makeup, my brow hairs don't come off with it. Like, it's gonna leave your brows staying the way that you leave them when you put this on, but it's not going to like super glue them down. And I have stubborn brow hairs, but this just does it for me. This is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Here's what that looks like, and I just love it. It's a clear brow gel. They do have some tinted ones that are different packaging than this. They're like tiny ones, but I don't know, I don't like the tinted ones. I just always have done the clear one, and it just works for my brows. It leaves them nice and up and feathery looking and in place without adding color to it, which I love. All right, those are all of my Sephora recommendations for this sale. It was a lot of products, but I feel like I haven't done like a makeup favorites, like a whole roundup in a while. So that is everything. Since right now we can really only do online shopping because of the pandemic and stuff like that, I will make sure to try to make it as easy as possible to shop the items. So I will have links down below, as well as I'll try to actually put it in categories, or I'll try to figure it out, but I'll put the name and the shade and a link, so it's very easy to look for everything, and as well as the dates and the coupon for the sale. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that it was helpful and you found some new favorites or some things that you are wanting to try. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, los quiero mucho, and I'll see you all in my next video.